Chapter 3 Empires and Kingdoms 6th to 10th centuries question answers from grade 7th subject Social Science Part 2. The big questions. Question 1. What major changes characterized this period? Answer. The period from the 6th to the 10th centuries was marked by several important changes. The rise of many regional kingdoms instead of one large empire, frequent wars for territory such as the tripartite struggle for Kannauj, growth of powerful dynasties like the Palas, Gurjara Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas, Pallavas and Chalukyas, development of new administrative systems, expansion of trade, towns and cultural activities, flourishing of education, art, science and religion. Question 2. How did the political, cultural and religious developments shape India during this period? Answer. Political developments led to decentralized rule and stronger local administration. Cultural developments included growth of temple architecture, literature in Sanskrit and regional languages, advances in mathematics and astronomy, religious developments, spread of Buddhism to other parts of Asia, growth of Hinduism, especially temple worship, peaceful coexistence of different faiths. Together, these developments shaped India into a culturally rich and diverse civilization. Question 3. What was the impact of foreign invasions and interactions on Indian society and polity during this period? Answer. Invasions by groups like the Hunas caused political instability. Arab traders brought new trade connections and cultural exchanges. Indian knowledge in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine spread to other regions. Indian rulers strengthened their defenses and administration. Society became more aware of external influences and interactions. Thus, foreign contact brought both challenges and opportunities. Let's explore page 64. Do you recall where the capital of the earlier Maurya and Gupta empires was located? Answer. The capital of the Maurya Empire was Patliputra. The capital of the Gupta Empire was also Patliputra. Question 2. How do you think this shift may have shaped the subcontinent's politics in the years to come? Answer. Political power shifted away from the eastern Gangetic plains. New centers like Kannauj became important. This led to regional kingdoms gaining strength. India became politically divided into several powerful states. Next, if you know the Devanagari script, with the help of your teacher, try to identify some of the letters in Harsha's signature, figure 3.5. So friends, this is figure 3.5. The inscription reads, Swastho Mama Maharaja Adhiraj Sri Harshya. This means, by my own hand, the great king of kings, Sri Harsha. This shows the use of Nagari script, an early form of Devanagari, the king's authority and royal status, the development of Indian scripts over time. Let's explore page 66. Looking at the map, figure 3.7, can you identify a few mountain passes or desert areas that Xuanzang had to cross while traveling between China and India? Can you also identify a few important Buddhist centers of learning that Xuanzang visited in India? Do you know something of their significance? Answer. Xuanzang's journey, routes and learning centers. Mountain passes and deserts crossed by Xuanzang. Himalayan passes. Karakoram region. Taklamakan desert. Hindu Kush mountains. Buddhist centers visited in India. Nalanda University, famous for higher education. Vikramasila, center of Buddhist learning. Sarnath, where Buddha gave his first sermon. Bodh Gaya, place of Buddha's enlightenment. Significance. These centers were international universities that attracted students from many countries. Let's explore page 68. Why was Kannauj so attractive to those powerful dynasties? Observe its location on the map figure 3.3 and discuss in class. Answer. So friends, this is figure 3.3. Kannauj was attractive because it was located in the fertile Ganga plain. It controlled important trade routes. It was close to rich agricultural regions. It had been an earlier imperial capital. Therefore, controlling Kannauj meant political power and economic prosperity. Let's explore page 74. Form groups in your class to discuss the following questions, then compare the group's answers. Question 1. What qualities does Kalhana think a historian should have? Answer. Kalhana believed that a historian should be truthful, be impartial, carefully examine sources, avoid personal bias. Question 2. What do these lines reveal about his method of gathering information? In what ways does it resemble or differ from the way history is currently written? Answer. Kalhana used earlier texts, inscriptions, and local traditions. He compared different sources before writing. His method resembles modern history writing in use of evidence. However, it differed because he relied more on oral traditions. Question 3. Kalhana also writes that noble-minded poet is alone worthy of praise, whose words, like that of a judge, remain free from love or hatred in relating the facts of the past. What does he mean by free from love or hatred? How would meeting this condition make a historian more reliable? Answer. Free from love or hatred means no personal bias or favoritism. A historian should not praise or criticize unfairly. This makes history more accurate and trustworthy. Next, according to tradition, Adi Shankaracharya, the 8th century scholar and the teacher of the Advaita Vedanta school of philosophy, visited the hill shown in this sketch. So friends, this is the sketch. The stone temple at the top is known as Shankaracharya temple or Jesht Ishvara temple. Shankaracharya taught that Brahman is the ultimate reality or the pure consciousness, and that the world as we perceive it is Maya or illusion. He established four mathas, monasteries and centers of learning at Badrinath, Puri, Dwarka and Sringeri. Mark the location of these cities on a map. Why do you think he chose four different corners of India rather than more central locations? Answer. Shankaracharya taught that Brahman is the ultimate reality, the world is Maya, illusion. He established four mathas at Badrinath north, Puri east, Dwarka west, Sringeri south. Reasons for choosing four corners: to spread his philosophy across the entire subcontinent, to unite India culturally and spiritually, to ensure that learning was not limited to one region, to make his teachings accessible to people everywhere. Let's explore page 79. Note this panel's figure 3.18 highly dynamic three-dimensional composition expressing Durga's confident assault on the demon. So friends, this is the diagram. Question 1. Can you identify some of Durga's many weapons and her Vahana? Answer. Weapons: trident, sword, bow, arrow. Discuss. Vahana, vehicle, loin. These symbols show her power and divine authority. Question 2. What are the main differences between her attendants and the demon's attendants? Answer. Durga's attendants appear calm, confident, well organized. Demon's attendants appear confused, fearful, disordered. This contrast shows the triumph of God over evil. Question 3. What does the demon's slanted posture and general attitude indicate? Answer. The demon's slanted and falling posture indicates defeat, loss of strength, fear and helplessness. It symbolizes the inevitable victory of dharma, good. Don't miss out page 81. During this period, inscriptions began using both Sanskrit and regional languages simultaneously. In land grants, the ruler and his dynastic history were often praised in Sanskrit, while the operative details of the grant were recorded in the local language. Why do you think such inscriptions were written in two languages? Answer. Inscriptions were written in both Sanskrit and regional languages because Sanskrit was used to praise the king, record dynastic history. Regional languages were used to explain land grants, communicate with local people. This ensured that the ruler's glory was recorded formally. The practical details were understood by common people. Let's explore page 90. What details do you observe in these coins? Figure 3.26. Why do the coins of Toramana and Skandagupta appear so similar? What conclusions can you draw? Answer. Observations, similar designs and symbols, same style of portrait and inscriptions. Reasons for similarity. Toramana imitated Gupta coinage to show legitimacy, gain acceptance among people. Conclusion. Coin designs show political influence and continuity. They help historians understand power shifts and cultural interaction. Let's explore page 91. The Chachnama records that when King Dahar was killed, his widowed queen put up a brave resistance, and when the situation became hopeless, she immolated herself along with other ladies. Another queen ordered her treasure to be distributed among the brave soldiers and inspired them to stand against the invaders. Question 1. What does this suggest about the way the indigenous people responded to invasions? Answer. People resisted invasions bravely. Even in defeat, they showed courage and honor. Resistance included both soldiers and royal families. Question 2. Why do you think the queen chose to give away her treasure? Answer. To support and motivate soldiers, to strengthen resistance, to show selflessness and leadership. Question 3. What does this reveal about the role of women in warfare? Answer. Women played active leadership roles, inspired soldiers, took strong decisions during crisis, showed courage and sacrifice. Think about it, page 92. Suleiman, a 9th century Arab merchant and traveler, makes this comment on a Gurjara Pratihara ruler. This king maintains numerous forces, and no other Indian prince has so fine a cavalry. He is unfriendly to the Arabs. There is no great foe of the Muhammadan faith than he. He has riches, and his camels and horses are numerous. There is no country in India safer from robbers. Why do you think the author calls the ruler a foe to the Muslim faith? Answer. Suleiman calls the ruler a foe because the ruler resisted Arab expansion. He protected his kingdom from invasion. He maintained a strong army and cavalry. The term reflects political rivalry, not religious hatred, defense of territory and independence. Think about it, page 93. The table lists common everyday words highlighting their similar pronunciation across the three languages. By comparing these sounds, you can identify words that are closely related or share common roots in all three languages. With the help of your teacher, use this observation to complete the table. So friends, in Arabic sandal, English sandalwood and Sanskrit sandal. In Sanskrit tambula, Arabic tambul, in English beetle. In Sanskrit karpura, Arabic kafur, English camphor. In Sanskrit pipali, Arabic filfil, English pepper. So friends, you can note it down. Next, questions and activities. Question 1. If you lived in Kannauj during the struggle between the Palas, the Pratiharas and the Rashtrakutas, How would it change your daily life and your estimate of the rulers? Write a letter on this to your friend living in Kanchipuram. Answer: Dear friend, I hope you are well in Kanchipuram. Life here in Kannauj has become very uncertain due to the constant struggle between the Palas, Pratiharas, and Rashtrakutas. Armies often march through our city, and people live in fear of sudden attacks. Trade is disturbed and taxes are heavy to support the soldiers. Although the rulers are powerful, their frequent wars make life difficult for common people like us. We wish for peace more than victory. I hear that life in Kanchipuram is calmer and prosperous under the Pallavas. I hope this struggle ends soon. Your lovingly, a friend from Kannauj. Question 2. Emperors and kings during this period controlled only core regions and governed other regions through subordinate vassals. What would be the advantages and the challenges of such a system? Answer: Advantages: easy administration over large territories, local rulers understand regional conditions better, saves time and resources for the king, helps maintain loyalty through rewards and land grants. Challenges: vassals may rebel, weak central control, difficulty in collecting taxes, lack of uniform laws. Question 3. In what ways were the invasions of the Hunas and the Arabs different in their aims, methods, and impact on the Indian subcontinent? Prepare a write-up, discuss and present it in the class. Aim: Hunas, plunder and conquest, Arabs, trade and later expansion. Method: Hunas, violent raids, Arabs, mostly peaceful trade. Impact: Hunas, political instability, Arabs, cultural and knowledge exchange. Result: Hunas, weakening of empires, Arabs, spread of Indian science abroad. Question 4. Imagine you are a common citizen watching the Prayaga assembly. How would you react to Harsha giving away most of his wealth? Answer: As a common citizen, I would feel amazed and inspired. Harsha's generosity shows his concern for the poor and his belief in charity. It would increase my respect for him as a just and compassionate ruler. Such acts would strengthen people's loyalty towards the king. Question 5. Forming groups. Let each group choose one Alvar and one Nayanar and prepare a biography poster or booklet. Include their life stories and a sample poem or two in translation. Answer: Alvar Andal, devotee of Lord Vishnu, known for deep devotion. Her poems express love for God. Sample verse translated: I offer my heart to the Lord, for He alone is my refuge. Nayanar Appar, devotee of Lord Shiva, spread Shaivism through hymns, preached equality and devotion. Sample verse translated: Chant the name of Shiva and fear shall vanish. Question 6. You will notice that our maps show only ancient names for the kingdoms, capitals and main cities. Using a pencil, mark the modern names next to their original names. Refer the current map of India and try to locate those cities on it. Answer: Ancient name Kanyakubja, modern name Kannauj. Ancient name Kanchi, modern name Kanchipuram. Ancient name Manyakheta, modern name Malkhed. Ancient name Ujjaini, modern name Ujjain. Ancient name Tanjavur, modern name Thanjavur. So friends, we have completed all the question answers from chapter 3, Empires and Kingdoms, 6th to 10th centuries. We have already studied notes and summary of this chapter. You can find the link in the description and on the screen. If you like the video, kindly like, hype the video and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to receive new video notifications. We will meet in the next video. Thank you for watching.